डायरी के पन्नों के अंतर्गत क्राइम और पनिशमेंट पर पिछले बार मैंने आपसे चर्चा की थी। क्राइम एंड पनिशमेंट बहुत ही अहम चीज़ है। In my previous lecture, I told you about the purpose of criminal justice and also about the theories of punishment. In order to summarize, I will tell you that these theories are: number one, retributive, which is pratishodhatmak, that is revengeful, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. Generally, this type of punishment is meted out in Middle East countries even nowadays. For example, if a person commits theft, his hands are chopped off. This punishment looks barbarous. Now, the another theory is preventive. Herein, according to this theory, the effort should be made to prevent the crime. How crime can be prevented? That is also important. If the law enforcement agencies are vigilant and they are not in collusion with the criminals, and investigations are done fairly and properly, the criminals can be brought to book and justice. They can be punished also. Prevention of crime, another factor in this is education, upbringing of a child. Because in my previous lecture I told you that nobody is born a criminal. It is social inequalities, socio-economic inequalities, injustice meted out to the people. Then they turn towards crime. So if these things are done away with by means of education, by means of developing a society wherein the people get justice, they do not suffer the pangs of poverty and squalor, then certainly it will reduce crime. Crime is not something you call natural or people are used to it. It is certainly not. I treat it as a disease. As disease can be cured, so the crime can also be done away with. It can be reduced to a great extent. It is not a human nature that everybody should commit a crime. Although I did say in my previous lecture that everybody is not law abiding. By nature, everybody is not law abiding. That is why the theories of punishments is invented. That is why the punishment is given, so that the people do not commit offenses, crime. Retribution, retributive theory, preventive theory. And the another theory is deterrent. The purpose of this deterrent theory is that the punishment should be commensurate with the offense committed. It should not be disproportionate, but it should not be less also. If the punishment is deterrent, it will deter the criminals to commit the crime. It will deter the people to commit the crime, because they will realize that if we commit an offense, if we commit a crime, we may be punished, and that punishment will be very serious and severe. As you have seen in Nirbhaya's case, that all the accused persons, convicted and executed, they tried every trick, adopted every course of legal remedy to get out of it. But they could not. Honorable Supreme Court gave them every chance, every hearing. Come, we will hear you. Because the purpose is that the criminal should realize that today the punishment he is getting is his own wrongdoing. It is a result of that mischief, that wrongdoing which he committed, that he is today getting this punishment. And once this realization comes to the criminal, to the accused, then he understands the significance of the law and the foolishness of the mischief he has committed. This realization came to these criminals and they were executed. So this is deterrence. So in future when such type of crimes are committed or our efforts are made, the people who commit, they will know that they can even get capital punishment. This is known as deterrent. Deterrence, that is that the punishment should be so that it deters the people from committing crime. Now the fourth theory, which is called reformative. Reformative theories, the people who propound this theory believe that since man is not born a criminal and crime is a disease in society, so all possible efforts should be made to cure this disease, to cure these people from the disease, by providing a congenial atmosphere. While punishing an accused person, the learned court should see the chances of reforming it. You must have seen that in murder cases, sometimes execution is there, capital punishment is there, sometimes life imprisonment is there, sometimes lesser punishment is there. These variations in the punishment is the reason for that the learned court finds that yes, in this case there is a chance that this man can be reformed. The purpose of law is not to execute people. The purpose of law, according to this theory, is to reform them. Therefore, a congenial atmosphere is created in the jail, in the prison. They are provided work, they are educated over there. The purpose is that when they come out of the jail, after remaining separated from their dear and near ones in the family, when they come out of the prison, then they lead a normal life of an ordinary man, of a man who does his work honestly. So if this takes place, then the purpose of law and justice is served. So this is the theory of reformation. If a person can be reformed, then the purpose of law is served. Justice is there. In some cases you must have seen, warning is given. I recollect a case. It was a cyber crime, first of all committed in India by a boy. He must be a teenage boy. And in that case, that boy, by using his technological knowledge of the computer, took away about 3 lakhs rupees from the account of an American lady. It was the first cyber crime in Delhi. And he spent that money lavishly on his clothes and all, so many items. When the boy was caught and brought before the magistrate was very intelligent and wise man, and he warned the boy that I don't want to spoil your career. Why don't you use this technological knowledge for the betterment of the society, for your betterment? And he advised his parents also that educate your child, because it is the first mischief done by him. I am warning him, letting him out. But if he repeats this crime again, then I will punish him and he may be sent to prison. Now, if the persons of young tender age are sent to prison, you can believe and you can trust and you can visualize. They will become hardened criminal because in prison they will come in contact with the other criminals, hardened criminals, and they may misuse them. And the chances of reformation is less. So the Honorable Magistrate was wise and intelligent enough to warn that boy not to commit and not to repeat such type of crimes, and that money was restored or given, repaid to the lady and the lady. This was one example. There are so many other examples also like this, when the learned court has taken a very practical view of the things and done justice. I myself remember a case of matrimonial disputes among the elderly persons, which was brought in a court of law. I myself was present at that time. There were two elderly persons, that is, a man and his wife, and they wanted divorce. I was myself present in the court when the case was presented, and the learned civil judge asked them that this is an age to enjoy your old age. You are seeking a divorce. He reprimanded them and also advised the advocates, why you people are bringing such cases before me? Why don't you advise them? Give them a wise counsel. And this is not, at the age of 60, these persons, 60, 65, these persons are seeking divorce. What is the sense? So you should advise them. And hopefully, I'm happy to tell you, my dear friends, that the case was resolved amicably and divorce was awarded. So, these are the practical ways of doing justice. Now, as far as the criminal law is concerned, if you study the Indian Penal Code 1860, there are 511 sections. And in most of these sections, if you read the definitions of the offence, two words prominently are written. The one is knowingly, the other is intentionally. That is, whoever intentionally does this thing, whoever knowingly does this thing, then he will be guilty of an offence. So knowingly, what is knowingly and intentionally? This is very important. When a person commits an act of omissions or commission intentionally, he knows the consequences of his act. There may be premeditation also. For example, if a person with 110 speed on a scooter is going in a busy market, naturally he must have foreseen the consequences of his rash act, careless driving. He may kill somebody, he may injure somebody. So this knowledge is there. In this case, there may not be intention to kill others, but he must know the consequences of this negligent act. This type of driving, which is rash, careless driving, certainly is going to injure the person. Because in a crowded place, if you are driving with such a speed, naturally the consequences will be grave. So law imputes knowledge. Now if you say and go to before a court of law, sir, I was not aware of it. I bona fidely, I go in good faith actually drive. I was driving my scooter. This is no play at all. Because the law presumes you to behave in a proper and civilized manner. And you must have foreseen the consequences of your act. So this is an imputation of the knowledge. So you cannot say that I was bona fide, in good faith I was driving. You are likely, you will be punished for the offence which you committed. And if somebody dies in that situation, the offence will be culpable homicide not amounting to murder. Because you never intended to kill somebody, but definitely you did an act which resulted in the death of this person. So this is how these two words, intentional and knowingly words. The culpa-dola, the utter negligence. And the negligence is of such a nature that it amounts to knowledge. It The law infers. Inference is drawn that you must have foreseen the consequences of your wrongful act. When we say it is our legal right, then you must also know that there is a corresponding duty upon others. For example, if you are walking on a road, in the middle of the road, and say that this is my right to walk, well, if you say that it is my right to walk on the road in the middle of it, then certainly other people who are driving may hit you. So there is a corresponding duty also on this part. And that you should walk on the left side, not in the middle of the road. So rights and duties are corresponding. Where there is a right, there is a duty also. You have a legal right to walk, no doubt, but you cannot avail this liberty that I must walk in the middle of the road. Well, liberty without law is a madman's knife. If freedom is granted, if liberty is given to you, that is not unbridled. Your conduct has to be regulated, and this is law. Law is helpful in the society, the people, because it is only by the implementation of law and rules and regulations that the social life becomes workable, decent, enjoyable also. So my dear friends, you must abide by law. You must foresee the consequences of your act. When you claim the rights, you must be aware also of your duties toward the society. If we follow these simple things in life, I'm sure you can not only enjoy yourself, but you will allow others to also lead a purposeful, enjoyable life. Because if you have a right to live peaceably, it is also your duty to allow others to live and lead their life peaceably, and they should also enjoy. So you have no right to interfere in others' affairs. So if everybody respects the rights of others, if everybody is conscious of one's own duty towards oneself, to the family, to the society, to the nation, I'm sure the country will become very strong, the life will be worth living, and by regulating your conduct and conduct of others, law helps, law is beneficial for the enjoyment of life for everybody, if provided we respect the law, we respect the rules and regulations, we implement them. My dear friends, today this much is sufficient, and in the next series, in this context, I will dwell upon some other aspects of the criminal law. Thank you, dear. Jai Bharat.